Welcome to New York City Health and Hospitals, Kings County YouTube podcast. I am George Montine, Executive Director of Support Services, and I am taking over this season. Today's topic is on the role of facilities at Kings. That's a very large question because this is a very large hospital, a demanding hospital. We are 3 million plus square feet, 48 acres. We have a varying number of buildings and age and infrastructure. As a result, we have to be on point every day. The staff has to be organized. We spoke about objectives, we spoke about priorities, and that's how we survive. We survive each day by keeping the hospital operational, staff safe, and the patient experience as best as possible, and we judge that by how well the patients are treated. And let's say they call it support services for a reason. We can break it in half. We have plant operations and we have plant maintenance. So plant operations would be the boiler room. The boiler house are the engineers, the oilers, the tenders who run the largest high pressure steam boiler plant in the city portfolio. I have 44 staff down there with the chief engineer. The engineers are on call 24/7, 365, in a high-pressure boiler plant, which we have 3 at Kings County. We have mandatory staffing. We have engineers in those buildings every day, tours 1, 2, and 3. Chief of the plant honestly directs the property with the assistant director of engineering and the director of engineering, all who report up to me in the same day. In the boiler plant, most of what we run is pneumatic, runs off steam. We're producing steam every day. Most of the areas, this is heat, hot water, and whatever equipment we have running on pneumatic monitoring or pneumatic controls. The plant is it's the beating heart of the hospital. Everything runs through the plant and the engineers. They are my eyes and ears throughout the property. They are first responders to all fire alarm situations, which are critical. Fire alarms involve the fire department, the FDNY, whenever they're on property. We have to deal with them on false alarms constantly, but in an orderly fashion. If the fire department comes in and they don't think you know what you're doing, they're going to take over your property, and that's a bad thing. Striving with the plant to maintain an organized property, our saying is Joint Commission ready every day. That's a broad statement. There are standards for operation through the Joint Commission, through the Office of Mental Health, OMH, the Department of Health, the DOH, the DOB. There are many local jurisdictions, including the FDNY, who we deal with on a daily basis, who have their own set of codes and compliance standards of operation, which you must maintain every day for staff and patient safety. These are not tips. These are what needs to work 24/7 because it has a direct impact to life and limb. Fire alarm systems, which I just mentioned, there are a number of standards for testing, maintenance of all fire alarm systems, fire alarm panels, and fire alarm monitoring devices. You have the nurse call system on all of the units, where the only way at some points that a patient can communicate to nursing is through the nurse call, the bed. They have the monitor on the bed and they can call the nurse for help. We have, as I referenced earlier, medical air, medical gas operations are critical, as you would expect, for the patients, but it's working with nursing every day to ensure that, and the respiratory department, that medical air and medical gas is 100% operational, no issues. And this is equipment that's in the plant through regulators which are on the floor, which require a number of different trade cooperation, which is the goal for us every day. Vertical transportation elevators, which are key to patients and staff moving throughout the property, have to be operational every day. It's a 24/7 operation. It's contracted out, but my staff is still very involved in maintaining elevator operations. We can't forget the ED and all of the issues that we face in the ED every day, keeping the ED compliant. Air pressure with joint pressure, isolation rooms, making sure that all of the ice machines and the pneumatic tube systems are working and operational. There's a lot of system knowledge that's needed when you're running a facility. At the same time, that is broken out into the various trades. The electricians, the plumbers, the carpenters, the tin knockers, the steam fitters, all of them play a key role every day. The best advice, the best suggestion I can give is take the time every day to start the day with effective communication. Set the trades in the right move. Where do they need to be? Why do they need to be there? Always have the schedule of standards that the hospital must maintain in your vicinity. You're always going to have to be able to reply back to that, because this is how facilities maintains the hospital. We just can't run around fixing stuff and, a chair is broken or a desk doesn't do this or something else is wrong because this is what you have to begin somewhere. You have to start every day with a base plan, and that comes from how you maintain the compliance, always being Joint Commission ready, Department of Health ready, Department of Building. They're always around, they're always here, and they should be looking. Those who worry about them are those who are not constantly in that state of readiness. So the role of facilities is not just maintenance and PMs and keeping everything working. Yeah, we do that every day, and we have PMs that must be done according to very specific schedules to maintain the hospital. That's how we support the hospital. So facilities maintains, supports, and controls all the critical functions that the hospital needs to survive. Simple things like HVAC, airflow. You don't have that during a heat wave like we're having right now, you're not going to survive. All the units are going to be hot. You're going to have to move patients. You're going to have patients who go into distress because we can't control the quote-unquote environment of care. So the role for facilities, particularly at King's, on a hospital as a diverse property like this, is set the standard every day that we maintain the property according to a set of guidelines. We just don't run out there doing what we think we need to do. We know what the guidelines are. They're set forth. And those who respect those guidelines and understand them and keep the schedule survive the Joint Commission. Might I say our last Joint Commission in 2021, we had the fewest citations or violations from the Joint Commission that this hospital has ever seen. And that just doesn't happen for any reason, particularly during a pandemic. You set your standards, you set your goals every day. And I feel that's how facilities supports Kings County on every level and survive each day as best we can.